Thought that you should know I've been going solo. Want my love, baby, earn it. Yeah, dancing on my own. See if you can follow. Got me feeling alive. Watch me go, lose control. Is this real? All I feel. Break the signs. Every time let's be real, be real, be real. I do what I want. Ooh, I do what I want. Ooh, I do what I want. Ooh, I do what I want. I want. Hear me now, I do what I want. Are you ready now? 'Cause it won't be easy. Only get what you work for. Gotta go all out whenever you see me. Don't be wasting my time. Watch me go, lose control. Is this real? All I feel. Break the signs. Every time let's be real, be real, be real. I do what I want. Ooh, I do what I want. Ooh, I do what I want. Ooh, I do what I want. Hear me now. Watch me go, lose control. Is this real? All I feel. Break the signs. Every time let's be real, be real, be real. I do what I want. I do what I want.
Good morning. What's new, pussycat? Hey, pussycats, what's up? Sorry, I'm furiously scribbling a little note to myself. Something I just heard, and I was like, holy shit. I did not know that Rachel Madcow, oh my God, I just heard her salary. Wow. Listen, I think if Rachel Madcow is getting paid what she is getting paid, which I'll let the cat out of the bag, or I'll let the mad cow out of the bag. $30 million a year for, wait for it, one live show on Monday night. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm trying to think what could make a Monday just, a little shittier than a typical Monday is. Well, I mean, I don't know about you, but I cannot think of a better way to end my Monday to, just prolong and drag out to say misery would be too overstated, but I'm kind of known for dramatics, so we'll go with the misery. To prolong the misery of a Monday, to end your day with Rachel Madcow. My husband swears she looks exactly like Keanu Reeves. He's really not wrong. And I heard a hilarious little quip before I came in here. Some people think that Mark Cuban, that incredibly arrogant and turns out wrong douchebag, Mark Cuban. Yes, a lot of people think that Mark Cuban is kind of starting to morph into Rachel Madcow. I'll let Mark, can we talk for just a minute, me and you? Mark, you make a lot of money. We can do better than Just for Men DIY hair dye. I mean, Mark, seriously. It doesn't work out for anyone. I have yet to see the man alive that can pull off the DIY like semi shoe polish. It either turns shoe polish blue black or like the comedian Jimmy Dore, I think his name is. I actually like him. He's funny. It pains me to look at that man's hair. Um, he also appears to be a fan of Just for Men, or maybe Miss Clairol. I don't know, but here's just a little tip for Betty and all the people, all the men that it doesn't look good. No, you cannot take hair that has basically no pigment in it, because that's what gray hair is. It's just the death of pigment. And attempt to put some kind of like dark color on it and think it's going to turn the color that's on the box. It turns like this weird, well, in Jimmy Dore's case, it's I'm looking for something on my desk. And he has hits and misses. Sometimes it's the color of, sometimes it's kind of like the orange that's in this fabulous book of Dolly Parton isms. Or it's like, you can tell he hasn't quite found his shade match. Kind of like, what's that fucking tool that we call Walter Mercado? Justin. Yes. Much like Justin has not found a shade match. Well, neither has Jimmy. I guess he tries to mix it up, and sometimes it just turns out like this really bad, like eggplant color. Oh, not pretty. So Mark Cuban and all the rest of you men, and there just happens to be a very wise woman in this chat who will attest, and she's a professional. I think she will agree with my assessment. Men, especially men who can afford it, please stop doing your own dye jobs. Mark Cuban, sir, while I will admit you are not the hottest looking man out there, but I'm going to help you out here. Mark, just let it go. Let the vanity go, okay? Get rid of the Just for Men. I promise you this, Mark. What you lack in hair follicle game and color game, Mark, just stand on your stock portfolio. I promise the ladies will love you all the same, with or without greenish, blackish, dyed hair. Yes. Oh, well, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Not all the ladies are going to love you. There was that unfortunate little remark you made about how Donald Trump he can't surround himself with intelligent women, strong, intelligent women. I think that's what he said. Oh, Mark Cuban. If Susie Wiles wasn't so fucking smart, I would think that he actually might have made history when he named her White House Chief of Staff in the upcoming administration. I might think that he did that just to shove it straight up your ass, but no, I don't think he gives a fuck about you. Neither do I. Okay. How is everybody? Oh, you know what inspired this? Well, listen, the bottom line is nobody listens to me. This is a shitty subpar YouTube channel. So I thought, you know what? My husband is fortunate enough to be able to be at the college football game today that he so loves. And I'm fortunate enough not to be there. I got up very early this morning, and there was any number of things I could have done today. Internet shopping was on my list, but I thought, oh, fuck that. That internet shopping's always there. And I thought, you know what? There was something I wanted to see the other day, and I missed it. So I said, Self, let's watch Tim Walz make I haven't listened to it. So I'm assuming it's a concession speech. Do VP candidates typically do that? I don't know. Who knew Magilla Gorilla could give a speech? I promise you, I haven't seen it. What I have seen is his extremely cringy, awkward wife, Gwen, who looks like she fell into a vat of Crisco or glycerin before taking the stage at the local high school. Oh God. Oh God. I know why they hid her. They said, Gwen, get your ass back home and stay there until this is over. The people do not like you. They find you awkward and cringy. So I watched approximately 4 minutes and 20 some odd seconds of Gwen. And I thought, you know what? This is a whole YouTube episode. It is. It is. And I'm doing it. I know this. I'm probably, well, no, I'm not going to be sorry for it. Fuck that. I was going to say, I'll probably be sorry for doing this, but I won't. Several people said to me, oh, don't do it. Don't do politics. Why the hell not? This is me. However, I want to start by saying, if you are kind enough to share 5 seconds of your day with me, I love you. I don't care what your politics are. I'm not looking to offend anyone. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just going to tell you how I feel. And apparently, quite a large majority of the country agrees with me. So I think I'm just going to say hi, and then we're going to get right on into this. Oh, but wait, there's more. Yeah, I am day drinking. What are we having? Happy Dad. Do y'all remember when I broke this out like months ago? This is the same 6-pack that I bought. Does it come in 6, or do you have to buy a case? It comes in a box, so I don't think it's 6. Maybe it's 8. I don't. It's not bad. It tastes better now than it did before. But the only reason I think that is because I bought White Claw Surge. It's been many weeks ago. And I worked my way through all of the flavors and then found I was left with only the green apple, which is, oh God, disgusting. But that didn't stop me from drinking it. And what it actually did do is it made this taste better, because I wasn't such a fan of this before. I thought it was kind of, well, it doesn't taste like grape. I mean, if I was a wine snob, I would say, well, there's notes of berries and currants and roasted chestnuts on an open fire, but I'm not. And I'll just tell you that you get hints of, probably red number 4 and blue number 12, A through subparagraph F, artificial colors that meld together to make something it has like an aftertaste of grape. I was hoping it was going to taste like Knee High or Crush. I should have just bought that and put some hooch in it, but I didn't. So yes, this is what I'm down to today. And my husband actually had to take my car because I don't know, the battery, it wouldn't start or something. So, and of course he's like, I got to go now. Do you need your car? And I was like, no, take it. I'll get something delivered. Of course, there's nothing in my house. There's nothing to eat. There's nothing to drink. So I went out to my fridge in the garage and I thought, oh, I wonder, I think there might be. I think I saw a couple of those Happy Dad. What a dumb name. I mean, Happy Dad and Death Row. I mean, I guess Suge Knight, when he was out in the free world, was a happy dad. I don't know. So yeah, that's what I'm left with. That's my lunch, and God, I hope it's not my dinner. My husband promised. He said, I'll call you on the way home. I'll bring home whatever you want. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna say hi to the class, and then we'll Oh, look at this. I brought a little show and tell item. No, it's not a Tom Ford item. I brought the bag because I needed a little bag, and I keep a stash of these in my closet, and I thought, oh well, in honor of Molly Golightly, I brought my Tom Ford bag. Oh, look, this could be like a poor woman's Tom Ford purse. Betty, girl, you could buy a lipstick or something, and you could get this, and this could be your purse. All right. Let me say hi, and we're going to get right on off to the races. Oh, yes, and in case I don't mention it later, I will. Sunny Hostin, fuck you. Sunny Hostin, you are a wretched bitch. And all those fucking hags on The View. I hope I've set the tone for you. If this is going to upset you or make you cry, that is not my intention, and this might not be the one for you. Remember, I'm not lashing out at you. I'm just doing the ha, 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 happy dance at like, oh, we're going to get into it. Don't worry. But yeah, Sunny Hostin, fuck you. You're like, she is such a bitch. She is just such a militant, angry bitch. Like, bitch, what are you angry about? You're beautiful. You sit around pointing your finger and lecturing all of us while wearing a jacket that I think is Chanel. That costs between maybe $10,000 and $12,000. Shut the fuck up, Sonny. We don't need you lecturing us. I mean, I don't think I'm the right gender to be a misogynist. Am I? No, I don't think I am. Okay, so let me just say hello. And off we'll go with the, stitching. How are you? Oh my goodness, congratulations on your channel. I left you a comment. Feel free to put your link in the chat. One of the mods can do that if they would like to. Crazy Nurse, how are you? Hi, Clancy. How are you? Clancy, are you? Now listen, here, we're going to take a survey. There is exactly no one and nothing that I'm shaving my head for, okay? Well, it's going to, that's a very short list. It's an incredibly short list, and I can tell you who's not on it. Donald Trump. He ain't on my short list, okay? No. So Clancy and the rest of the chat, can y'all tell me, what do you think is more insane? Having such a severe case of Trump derangement syndrome that you shave your own head, and a lot of them weren't too attractive to start with, so it's kind of like a non-starter. It's a wash. What are they doing? Like, are they looking for man repellent? Don't worry, I have some clips. We're going to look at a couple videos. There's no shaved heads, but it's some equally crazy shit. Yeah, I'm not shaving my head for Donald Trump or anyone else in the government. No celebrity, no private citizen. No. The only way I would do that is if one of my family members for some reason was in need of my hair, then I would do it. Other than that, no. So tell me what you think is more insane. Shaving your head over a presidential election, or getting a fucking tattoo of a missing child. And would I be correct to assume, since she was, the bad part was face down? Yes, I did. I saw it. I think it was No Wire Hangers as I was just scrolling. I haven't watched anything. I just saw a community post and was like, oh dear God. She is still wearing those fucking horrific sweatpants or stretchy leggings. They're pilled to hell and back. Apparently Betty's now wearing like some kind of Timberland hiking boots. I mean, I will say they appear to be an improvement over the janky ass footwear she typically wears. But so let me get this straight. She gets a tattoo that looks like it is of the caliber of Sonia's fucking ugly t-shirts. So Betty, you got to up your damn aesthetic game here, girl, especially if it's something permanent. Like, can you do anything right? That tattoo was ugly as shit. I mean, but what's more insane? I'm sorry, tattoo. Although I will say, as the unfortunate part was face down on the tattoo table, I that leads me to believe that obviously she got it in a place that even she doesn't have to look at it when she's like, how much money do you think that skank has grifted off that child that she is going to permanently put an ugly ass tattoo on her body? And if you want to laugh, I'm almost certain it was no wire hangers. I don't think it was clipper. It was either clipper or no wire hangers. If you want to laugh, go leave the comment. Go read the comment I left. It was all the places that I said Betty should spend those ill-gotten gains. Better places to misappropriate other people's funds, like a hair transplant, is number one. And you know, there were a few more. But dear God, like, just when you think it could not get worse. Yes. In my book, permanently marring your body, that's already got enough permanent Mars on it, we'll just say, with an ugly fucking tattoo of someone else's child. Wow. It looks like Betty went to the Big Lots of tattoo parlors, and I just hope that it didn't cost a lot. Well, we know she is a self-proclaimed cheap woman, so I'm sure it couldn't have cost too much. Whatever it cost, it was too much. Her dignity, that left the building long ago. But good God, like I saw that and was like, I thought, you know what? Listen, y'all, I was not lying when I told you the other day that I have not watched anything on YouTube with any of the usual suspects. I can't. As I've told many people, I have upped my dirtbag game to politics. I've always watched a lot of it, not year round, but in the last year, I've really watched a lot and listened to a lot of podcasts. And, you know, they say politics is sports for ugly people. And I say to that, only if you're on CNN or MSNBC, because all the hot people are over on Fox. I said to my husband, holy shit, like CNN could not get a fucking attractive person if their very life depended on it. But yeah, I just thought, well, I can either listen to people's drama that's going to actually impact my life in, you know, at least a small way. So yeah, I'm just tired of talking about and listening to. I mean, if I'm going to listen to that level of circus and drama every day, no, I decided I need to elevate my dirtbag game a little more. Take it to the politicians. I'm putting down the tragedy pimps, but I'm telling you, had I not seen that tattoo scrolling through my feed, I wouldn't have. Well, I mean, there's a couple cracks in here that just, you know, they're one-liners that quite naturally lend themselves to Betty. So I'd be lying if I said I wasn't going to say anything. But when I saw that tattoo, oh my God, she went from being just a quip, a one-liner to, well, you know, I've given her at least a paragraph, I think. Wow. And never mind. There is no answer. Monkey Girl's mama wrote, Rowena, is that you? Girl, do you have a new name? I'm just guessing. If not, welcome, because I don't recognize your name. All right. So if that's not an alias, I apologize. Oh, JP. How are ya? That's good. I'm glad I'm keeping you company. Oh, it is Roach. How did I know that? I knew that was you, girl. Hey Zen, how you doing? Hi, B-Tube. Can't they just wear the fucking bracelet? What? Apparently there's like a top secret well, I'd say friendship bracelet, but none of those fucking vultures are friends. Mad Cow and the rest of them, they wear like these blue rubber bracelets in solidarity. Oh, good God. Hey, Blank Screen, how are you? Oh, yeah, you tell that to Sunny Hostin at The View wearing her damn $12,000 fucking Chanel jacket, wanting to tell you what's wrong with you. When that bitch said uneducated women, wow. Let me just tell you, I'm going to tell you a few things about Sunny Hostin and the very large ivory tower she lives in. Oh, and let's keep in mind, anybody who's been watching Court TV for a long time, like since the OG inception of Court TV, Sunny Hostin was, I don't know if I can't remember, was she an anchor? I do believe she was an anchor way back in the day. She looked a little different than she looks now. Yeah, I got Sunny Hostin as oh God, she's a condescending bitch. But other than that, I really love you, Sunny. Oh. Me. Well, I totally respect that. And you know what? Like I said, I'm not looking to insult anybody, but hey, the people have spoken and now I'm going to speak. But the good news is I like you. I don't care what your politics are. I am friends with all kinds of people across all kinds of the whole spectrum. People with money, people who don't have any money, people who've got lots of letters after their name, people who don't even have a high school diploma. I don't care. If I like you, I like you. I don't play this DEI and all that bullshit. Okay, carrying on. I keep getting sidetracked. Hey, Running Bear, how are you? Jerry Seinfeld made a post on X that said his son's former school was giving the kids, what the hell did they call it? There was some hilarious name, kind of like a day of mourning. And my title, that's directly ripped from Gwen Walls. So Gwen, that's for you, girl. Oh my God, that woman. There is something about her. Like I get serial killer vibes from her. Gwen, do you know your husband probably doesn't play for your team? I thought it was very interesting that Tim Walz called Elon Musk gay. And who cares if he is? Like, so what? Your point? This from the man who skipped across every stage he's ever met, sprinkling fairy dust and rose petals on the way there. So Gwen, I'll ask you again. I don't know. Do you might want to check his you might want to check and see if he's got a Grinder app on his phone. Oh, I'm just reading. I'm reading as I'm scrolling. I know I'm going to get shit, but ooh, convict to counselor. Oh my God, I love that name. Or you must be in the bushes because I have never seen that name. I love it. Oh. Stitching, how are you? I'm going by the P.O. box on Monday. I've already paid for it. It's a done deal. I just have to show them 2 forms of ID and get my keys and my number. And I will get that to you as soon as I get it. Oh my God. Are you telling me there is more than one absolute flaming douchebag that got a tattoo, much like Betty's? Not speaking about family. I'm talking just like, I cannot even conceive of something so fucking dumb. I'm sorry. There are many of you on here. I love you lots, but I'm not getting a tattoo for you. I am nope. And I don't want you to get one for me. Okay? Does Betty have other tattoos? Why? Please tell me that she was a tattoo virgin up to this point. Betty, why didn't you put it like on your lip or something on the, or maybe across your forehead? I mean, I think people should, since apparently your whole life is now dedicated to Sebastian Rogers. Well, why don't you just get it tattooed across here for like, and maybe you could put your Cash App right underneath it. Maybe your Venmo, like, I wear highlighter. You could put your Venmo here, your PayPal. We don't want to put too much here because that's a good point. Never mind. Now that I think about this, that's an ill-conceived idea because those letters are going to they're ever melting as the days go by because she doesn't, Betty's naturally beautiful. Unlike, myself, I avail myself of all the tricks in the toolbox. I think that was something I told her she should get with her. She should misappropriate those ill-gotten gains. An oil drum size of Botox. I think that would be, while you're at it, getting tattoos, and you may as well get some Botox. And what was the first thing? Oh, yes, hair transplants. Oh, Hooked on Phonics. Yes, that was another thing on there, Hooked on Phonics. And I think the only other thing I told her she should do is, Sonia, that she should get Sonia a class on color theory and punctuation. Because, I seriously question her color sense. It seems to be non-existent, along with, general style overall. Those t-shirts are not attractive. That's just my opinion. No bueno. Those are not Crimes and Fashion approved. Not at all. Well, hello, Andy C. How are you? Hi, Bombs Becca. How are you? I missed you guys too. Oh my God. I have never laughed so hard. Yes. What's today? Saturday? It was Thursday. I think it was Thursday night. My husband and I watched Candace Owens' her latest YouTube video called "We Made Kamala Indian Again." For all of you that believe Kamala Harris is part African American, she is not. She's Jewish, Indian, and fun fact, she comes from a long line of people who owned other people. Okay? So trust me, don't waste too many tears, libs. Crying, don't cry for Argentina or Kamala Harris. Oh, I'm sure this is really going to get me in trouble. I don't care. Like I said, this is a shitty subpar YouTube channel. Oh my God. Can you imagine? Looks like Betty busted out a bra for the occasion. I guess she figured if she had to go face down on the table, they were all going to like spill over the sides if she, went free balling like she usually does. Oh, I mean, free boobing. Oh, free balling too. Does Betty still have balls? The only woman I've ever known who really seems to want people to think she has literal balls. Okay. Ooh, Kentucky Cooter. Oh God. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, and what I just said about Kamala Harris and her lineage and her her ethnicity. If you doubt what I'm saying, I didn't just make that up and pull it out of the sky. Because I wouldn't do that. I myself was under the assumption that she was Indian, that she was biracial, that she was Indian and African American. Well, if you believe Candace Owens, who is an incredibly brilliant woman, African American woman, she has done the research, and I do not believe for 1 minute she would ever put out misinformation, or especially on something as with the gravity of that. If she didn't believe 100% that it was true, she has researched it up, down, sideways. She's interviewed people in the extended family, and well, she hasn't been sued, which is, I think, what one would do if someone with an audience the size of Candace Owens was, putting out purposeful false information. That hasn't happened. Much like Kamala tried on a new accent, whoever she was speaking to. And I'm with Megyn Kelly. Here's my favorite. Joy cometh in the morning, and morning's on its way. Can I tell you, the following morning, I looked at my husband and I said, I don't think anything is comething this morning. And it definitely is not joy. Not on that side of the aisle. That was the best. She was see, that's the problem. She was like a chameleon who would pander. She was one of the, oh my God, she was the worst candidate they could have ever put up. I think Joe would have had a better chance with all his cognitive problems. As these statistics bore out, if you saw how badly she underperformed Joe in, all over this country. Listen, I ain't Bill Hemmer. I don't have that whiteboard. I don't have an actuary table. I don't have a room full of quants doing research on it, but he did. And she underperformed Biden significantly all over the place. So I thank them for it. I'm very glad that they did put that horrible candidate up who really had Kamala Harris, in reality, is to the left of Fidel Castro, of Stalin, of Mussolini, okay? But she knew that she had to try and distance herself from things like, I don't know, the Green New Deal, where they spent, how much money was it? Like $9 trillion on a bunch of, not a bunch, 9. Yes, 9. 9 charging stations for when the EV mandate kicked in, where all of the fossil fuel powered cars that most of us drive go bye-bye. And by mandate, we had to get an electric vehicle. Well, in advance of that, which so many, her and Bernie are the only ones who voted for it. There are 9 charging stations that they spent the GDP of several small banana republic countries building. Well, guess what? They don't work. Yeah, we've got them, but we're still working out the kinks. So she had to try and distance herself from all that shit. So she just decided, well, I'm just going to pander to everybody. Wherever I go, I'll just pull out the appropriate accent. And nobody could have done better than she herself to show everyone how inauthentic she is. I don't even think that bitch knows what she wants besides an electric vehicle mandate. And yes, and to give transgendered prisoners sex reassignment surgery. Of course, it's like, well, hey, I would like the government to pay for when it's time, I want a facelift. I think it's only fair. If we're going to pay for fucking prisoners, I don't care what surgery it is. We don't need to pay for it, but we damn sure. I mean, that's elective, okay? That's a cosmetic surgery and it's an elective procedure. Hell, when you're in prison, they don't even, you have a bad tooth, they yank it out. They don't give you fucking fillings. So we don't give prisoners fillings in their teeth. We just extract them. But Kamala Harris proudly, she's the one who made that happen in California. And you know who she made it happen for? Oh, what the hell is his name? I can find it, but I remember watching the ID show about his crime where he took a couple that was retiring and they were in California. They had a yacht. They were going to sell it and take all their, upend their life to move to Arizona, I believe it was, to go help raise their grandchildren. And some scumbag said he wanted to buy the boat but he wanted to take it on a sea trial, which is just like a test drive on a car you're thinking of buying. Hopefully it's not an electric car that needs to be charged because, chances are it's going to break down on the, what do they call California? It's I know when you go north, it's US 1. It changes numbers throughout California, but yeah, you don't want to get stuck on their freeways with no place to charge. So yeah, this couple goes out and what they get for it is at gunpoint, he has them attach themselves. I don't remember how he had them do it to the anchor of the boat and proceeded to throw them in the Pacific Ocean, tied to the anchor of their own boat. He's in prison, hopefully for the rest of he's a fucking waste of skin. But what did Kamala make sure happened for that waste of skin? That he could become a woman. Because apparently all that takes is, a little snip, snip and, get a set of girls. Well, hey, I mean, I would like free cosmetic surgery as well. So she was to the left of Fidel Castro. And although I don't think Fidel would have been quite so understanding about wanting to, change, that's later. So, yeah. Hey, Muffin Mouse, how are you? Gina F, how are you? Yes, pants and a bra. Oh, my goodness, that's a great point. Yes. Oh, God. Oh, she is something else, man. I'm reading. Scott's dead. How are you? Welcome. Who knows? I know she needs to be roto-rootered in one part of her plumbing. I don't know if it's I doubt it's the one that, comes up through her, where her sewage probably comes up through her toilet and her shower drain. Yeah, it's supposed to go down, not come up. Oh. What's YouTube doing? This right here, that's probably that is a really good idea. Oh. Maureen the Knitter. How are you? I know that's new. Cute name. Hi, Chaos. How are you? I haven't seen you in a while. Hi, Brantley. Well, isn't it always? I mean, I couldn't tell. No, you that one was good. But the one of her last pandering campaign stops she was at an AME church which is African Methodist. I forget what the E is. It's AME, right? African Methodist. Anyway, yes, she was up at the pulpit and she was going full on preacher. And I gotta say, she wasn't too bad at the preacher vibe, but a joy cometh in the morning. The work may be hard, but hard work is good work. Oh my God, she was like a fucking broken record. Just the same thing every single stop. If you want to laugh your ass off, find one of the channels that just runs her repeating the same line over and over and over and over and over and over. It's like the Brady Bunch. It's Kamala-isms. Here's a story of a stupid lady. Oh, I'm so glad that bitch lost. I'm going to be celebrating this one for a while. Oh, they did it to themselves. The Democrats did it to themselves. Hey, Kathy P, how are you? This is what happens when you try and subvert the democratic process. They should have had an open primary. When the fake news media, that's one good thing. The media is dead. Okay. There is no mainstream media anymore. Pretty much alternate media is where you get, which, hey, it's great because you can pick who and what you want to listen to. But this idea that back from my time when we had the big three, DNC, MSDNC, NBC, CBS, and ABC. Back in the day, that's what we had. We had the big three. I'm talking from the days of now. He died not long after I was born. There was Walter Cronkite. There was Peter Jennings. There was Sam Donaldson. Oh, who was on 60 Minutes back then? Like Morley Safer. There were still real journalists who were not, you didn't know what their bias was. They were there to get the information and present it to the American public. Now, MSNBC, CNN, I'm sure there's others that I'm not thinking of. Those are the biggest offenders. They're nothing but an extension of the Democratic Party. And hey, whatever, but own it. Forget this fucking pretense of, oh, we're in the media and no, you're not. You're an arm of the party is what you are. And so much of what they give is bullshit. Okay, so for show and tell, there are two. I think this one is still out in stores. I don't think I showed you guys this one before. This Anastasia Beverly Hills. I don't have the box. Oh, wait. I can't read that. But I got this at Ulta a few weeks ago. This is a really nice palette. I have green eyes. So purples and pinks are what work for me. If you got your Ulta holiday catalog, you likely saw this. Natasha Denona, Roxa. And I have to say, okay, it's the price is ridiculous, but this is what I'm wearing on my eyes. This, I have to say, it's not as expensive as Pat McGrath, but it's pricey. It's really good. I say it's worth it. I actually would use almost all of these colors with the exception of like maybe two. And this is what I'm wearing today. So if you're tossing the idea around, and her shadows they're just as good as Pat McGrath. They're to me, the pan size is it's pretty small for what that costs, but you don't have to use a lot, and they go on like butter. It's like butter. All right. You know what else is dead with the end of this election cycle? The celebrity endorsement. Oh my God. Okay. I'm gonna tell the libs my thoughts on why why the Democratic Party went down in flames. Why Donald Trump won by a fucking landslide. There's a reason they're calling this election a mandate. He made gains across every demographic, significant gains from where he was in 2020. I think they used 2020 versus 2024. And he gained significantly with women, Latinos, African American men. There was a couple more that they broke down. Those are the main ones. Significant gains. Oh, well, thank you. Not only did he win the Electoral College vote, and I do not know as of this time what the final number is going to work out to be. It doesn't matter. It's a lot. California was a given because, of course, she's from California, and it wouldn't have mattered if she could have been from Mars, which a lot of people in California seem to be from. I love California. It is an absolutely beautiful state. I have been there several times and I very much enjoyed it. There's a reason it's so expensive in California. And a lot of it is their policies. Oh, and in California, not only are they going to make America great again, they're going to make it a crime to steal again. And that dumb bitch would not even, when asked. So in California, they had this proposition, I don't know what number it was, but basically what it did was it made any kind of retail theft under $900 and lower, I believe, just a misdemeanor and just get a little slap on the hand if you get caught. That's why you saw all these people breaking into not just Louis Vuitton and Nordstrom and high-end stores, even Walgreens, Dick's Sporting Goods, crime went, as you can imagine, crime just went crazy in California. And, well, I guess they've had enough of it. And there was now a counter proposition that was on the ballot to make that proposition null and void. And when asked, I think it was 2 days before the election, when one of the, 7 reporters that Kamala ever took a fucking question from, and one of the only ones, I believe, that wasn't on a tarmac, with her being able to use the excuse that she's got to get on Air Force 2 or whatever the fuck they call that. Honey, you're going to be flying the friendly skies now. I hope you enjoy it. I don't know what. Well, she's not going to have to worry about what the price is, because let's face it, she's going to be just fine. She'll get over that bruised ego real quick. Here's my prediction. Oh, first we're going to do the rounds on TV. There'll be Oprah. There'll be a lot. And then, oh, gee, I think she'll write a book. And then they'll pimp the book out everywhere. She'll be just fine. I agree with someone I heard who said she should be like a lifestyle influencer. Well, just as long as it's not about fashion. Don't try that one, honey, because you need to retire Chairman Mao's pantsuits. Give them back to Hillary Clinton. Kamala, I will give her this. She's a very attractive woman. Kamala, there's no reason you need to have a 12-inch rise on your pantsuits or your jeans. Okay. I get it. You don't want your thong hanging out like, plumber's ass crack. I get it, but you don't need a 12-inch rise, honey. You're not there yet. Give it a few years. Hell, even my mother, who's in her late 70s, doesn't wear jeans like that or pantsuits. My mother doesn't wear pantsuits. She knows I would come unglued. No, actually, There's nothing wrong with a pantsuit done right. Hers, no, we got to get modern here. That Hillary Clinton, like, straight leg can't just, no. Kamala, you could have worn a skinny pant. You could have worn a flared leg. I mean, she'd look good in any of those. What? No, not the ones that she wore. But yeah, she's gonna be just fine. Don't cry for Argentina or Kamala or Betty. No. So yes, I think that one of the reasons that they, and my goodness, it is so absolutely confounding. Rachel Madcow, Andrea Mitchell, fucking Brian Seltzer. Oh my God, I've never had so much fun watching. I have not watched those fools in forever. I have done nothing but switch back. I'm watching them all. I am watching all of the liberals drowning in their tears. It's been glorious. I love it. From Van Jones is worrying about the fate of the consequences to Mother Earth will not be known for. Van will all be dead. Who else was? Oh, Joy Reid. Joy, you need to change your name to Misery because you are one of the most miserable, nasty ass bitches ever. She is never happy about anything, this woman. Nothing. So Joy is not the boy. Your parents, they got that wrong, girl. You are no Joy. Oh, my personal favorite, Nicole Wallace. Oh my God. I think Nicole Wallace is probably institutionalized right now with like a wide open drip of diazepam, maybe a little Thorazine aside, a chaser, a Thorazine. Oh my God. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel just fine. The hags of the View. Oh my God. I told who did I tell? A few people. The morning after the election, I said, for the first time in my life, I'm going to watch The View. And do you know how many people are doing the exact same thing as me? I am not alone. My other personal favorite, Joe and Mika. Joe Scarborough, you are the biggest fucking tool on earth. Joe Scarborough is like he is the human embodiment of the kids cartoon Arthur. His with Beavis and Butthead's face. I mean, his face is longer than Laura's. It's like he's got this long oval egg-shaped head with these two little beady eyes that are way too close together. And yes, I am that bitch. Okay. Wait, you think I'm just going to come in here and talk about these assholes and not like, of course I'm going to drag the way they look. People drag the way I look all the time. I don't give a damn. Yeah, Joe and Mika. What was really, hey, Pink Stripe, how are you? What was really, hi, Wise Angel. What was really hilarious is when Joe can't pick a lane, okay? Joe, because now he's got to do the walk of shame because everything they prognosticated has just blown up so badly. America has spoken. And we spoke very loudly. And listen, I get it. I'm not sitting here saying that everybody voted for Trump because they just love Trump. Hell, I don't love Trump. I'm not a Betty, I promise you. But I love what I know he's going to do. And it needs to be done. And I'm not afraid to say it. And it doesn't make me hateful. And it doesn't make me a bigot. It doesn't make me any of those things. What it makes me is someone who wants to see my country where I was born. I want to see our country taking care of our citizens. Do you know how many people need help right now? And we're giving fucking illegals who are just, snip the fence, the part where Joe hasn't completely just thrown the doors open. and we're giving them $10,000 gift cards and putting them up at the damn Carlisle in New York. Well, not the Carlisle, but I mean, it's insane. It's insane. It doesn't mean I hate those people. It doesn't mean I want to see bad things for those people. No, it doesn't. But we've only got so many resources to go around. Now, if we had an excess, great. Then we help other people. We have we have to have private charities like Tunnels to Tower, Wounded Warriors, take care of our veterans. That is fucking shameful. Shameful. And people are sick of this bullshit. And that's why you guys lost. We don't give a shit what Julia Roberts, George Clooney, that fucking moron, Cardi B, who's nothing but, well, do you know where Cardi got her, can I call you that? Do you know where she got her name? From her daddy. Yeah, when her daddy used to hang out at the strip club where she was working at the time. Dad was a fan of Bacardi. So naturally, when he had a little girl, yeah, Cardi. Well, I don't know what her proper name is, but that's where by her own admission, that's where her name comes from. And it's not about that. It's about the fact that she's what my husband would call a filthy. Okay. Her greatest hit, Wet Ass Poussoir. I'm not even going to say it because I'm not a skank lowlife like she is. I don't give a fuck how much her veneers cost. My husband said she's got a unitooth. All I can see when I look at her is one blinding. I'm like, yeah, I know it's a thing. That's her claim to fame. And that is who? The woman running for president of the United States. She picks her to come up and make a speech. Too bad the bitch is dumb as wood. I mean, and her claim to fame is a song called Wet Ass Poussoir. Do you know how bad it pains me, and I'm sure every other woman, to know that we've had two women run for president and they were both fucking horrible. And I, in good conscience, could not vote for them. I want to vote for a woman for president. I want to see a woman shatter the ultimate glass ceiling, just not those two. Okay? At least Hillary Clinton, while she was a lying, amoral shitbag, at least she was fucking smart. Okay? Nobody could deny that. Hillary could have done the job. She would have done it poorly. But Kamala, we do know how she got her start, right? Man named Willie Brown. I'm sure you've heard that all over. It's not a lie. She was let's just say she was in a relationship with her boss, Willie Brown, who was very, very powerful in California at that time. And he got her. She climbed the ladder, let's just say. Or, crawled the ladder. But, I mean, I don't even want to say Democrats because I don't mean it. The powers that be in the Democratic Party, the ones at the top, are so out of touch that they greenlighted a dirtbag like Cardi B. And I'm sorry, to me, that's what she is. She's just a low-life trash who, I guess I've never heard. I'm telling you, if I've heard one of her songs, I don't know it. I hope she sings better than she speaks because, woo, wow. That one speaks in crayon. And could not even, much like the woman that she was up there stumping for. Well, never mind, that she was up there trying to stump for. She couldn't wing it. Hell, I don't think Cardi, even if the teleprompter was working, I don't know she could have read it. Yeah, and stood up there like an illiterate deer in headlights. I need whoever it was she was calling for, her assistant, whoever it was. I mean, just, hey, looking beyond. I mean, you cannot make this shit up. She's illiterate sounding. And her claim to fame is a song called Wet Ass Puzwa. And there you go. The Democratic Party wants you to know that Cardi B is voting for Kamala. I mean, Bruce Springsteen, sir, I was never a fan of Bruce Springsteen. I know a lot of people love him, and I've heard lots of his songs, and yeah, he was fine. Put the guitar down, Bruce. At least in that kind of auto-tune. Trust me. You'll thank me for it. Who else did we have? John Bon Jovi looking like a whole ass. What the hell happened to him? Oh God, he's not cool anymore. Who else did we have? Oh, Beyonce. Of course. How can I forget Beyonce? Oh, and Barack and Michelle. And listen, in full disclosure, and in a second, I'm going to tell you what my stances are on a lot of issues. And it's just going to be quick. Because I want you to know, I have voted Democrat. I voted Republican. I am registered Republican. But I'm not in lockstep with the Republican Party on several things, but that's who I identify with more. So we got Beyonce, who we drag out. Beyonce, are you going to show up in any of the Diddy debacle by any chance? I don't know. I've heard that you and your hubby might. I hope not. So we dragged Beyonce out, and, apparently Beyonce thought so much of her, she wouldn't even sing for her. Not once, but twice. How embarrassing. That was one of her rallies where she got booed because Queen Bee wouldn't even sing a song. Not even a note. So there was, Lady Gaga. Didn't hear, don't care. I like a lot of Lady Gaga songs, but I mean, none of that shit impresses me. And apparently it didn't impress. Barack and Michelle. Full disclosure, I voted for Barack Obama twice. He is, and I don't even know which one another fellow Democrat, and I don't know which one I would give the trophy to. Probably Barack. He is possibly second only, and I don't even know, he might be first, to Bill Clinton as far as the gift of gab. He is a brilliant orator, and I will absolutely admit that when I voted for Barack Obama, at least one time, it was strictly on. He moved me when I heard him speak. I was buying. I'm in. Hope and change. Give it to me. Bring it on. His policies left a lot to be desired, and what he actually did, Affordable Care Act, fucking did that. I'm not for socialized medicine. I'm also not for the clusterfuck we have now. And trust me, I know several people, one from Scotland, a few from Canada, that live under socialized medicine. And I can tell you they carry private insurance, and they come to the United States if they have anything that's really major to get done. So in fact, I think I voted for Clinton as well. Bill, not Hillary. Couldn't stand her. my point is, I believe that the Democratic Party, they pulled out Barack, they pulled out Michelle, they pulled out Beyonce, all of them, all the celebrities. I told my husband, and I do believe I've been proven right. I said, in my opinion, that is going. Hey, Cinnamon Hot Hot, how are you? S damn, how the hell are you? I haven't seen you in an age. I hope you're well. I told my husband that all of that's going to go against her. It's going to do the exact opposite of what they think it's going to do. I mean, what? They're so out of touch with the real world. Oh, Joe Scarborough, I never finished that thought. People like him, these fucking elitist snobs that are so out of touch with groceries. We don't give a shit what Cardi B has to say. And I was really glad to hear that she's no longer talking to anyone who voted for Trump or some stupid shit. Great. I don't know if y'all have heard, but there's a couple people in this chat that probably know. Well, maybe I should just read it to you. I'm organizing a celebrity cruise. Did you know that? At the end, if somebody reminds me, I will read you my family email chain about my celebrity cruise I'm organizing. Captain Stubing has agreed to, along with Gilligan, they're going to they're going to be your captains. I will. Oh no, I don't want anybody who's here legally to leave. Why would I want anybody who's here legally? Why would we deport anyone who's here legally? That doesn't happen. Are you buying into the Joy Reid internment camp situation? Like, do you think that they're building internment camps? That it's like all this hysteria, calm down. That's all I can say. Calm down. It's going to be fine. We're not, and listen, I'm not advising Trump, obviously, but I just the common sense approach in my mind, if I was running this, well, we would start with the most troublesome of the illegal immigrants that are here. Like, those that are, well, I was going to quote something, but I don't know the source of it, so I'm not going to do that. So I'll just say, generally speaking, I would say let's start with the worst, the most troublesome, the most violent, etc. I think that the very last people that we would get to, well, here's where I would say I can see what they like to call a pathway to citizenship. And that would be for people who have been here for some enough time that there's a track record that can show, listen, I've contributed to society. I've paid in to society, to the system, and those who have children born here. Okay, so let's not get hysterical. I'm pretty sure that's just my common sense thought on it. So I don't know. That's what the hell is the filleting of the microphone? The filleting of the microphone. Who did that? I don't get it. Did I miss something? Maybe I did. I don't know. Listen, I'm not here to change anybody's mind. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm not. This is just my thoughts, but they're not just my thoughts. They're the thoughts of a lot of people. And I'm not going to apologize for wanting people who did not listen. There is a path to become a citizen here. In fact, in my own extended family, we have this situation. And there is a lawyer involved that, trust me when I tell you, is bilking people that are in this situation. And these people in my extended family that I'm talking about, they don't have money to just like, oh, here you go. Here's a check. Make me a citizen. No, not at all. But they're trying to do it the right way. And that's who I want to see come to this country. I mean, in what world do you believe that someone who cuts the fence or hops over it or swims over it, why do we give them $10,000? And we're not taking care of our own people like that. Back to Joe Scarborough, the human Arthur cartoon. You know, now that they're looking like fools, well, now he wants to tell you, oh, we said the price of groceries that, it was ridiculous. Yeah, a stick of butter is $3. Oh, Joe. No, his asshole wife had to tell him, no, it's like $7. Well, I don't know where they shop, but they don't shop. I'm sure they send their assistant to go to, Whole Foods and get grass-fed butter. And you'd think I know how much that is because I use it. So, yeah, no, we're not going to take what I've said. Well, actually, I haven't gotten there yet, so I'll put a pin in that until then, because I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel on all of these things. I can't speak for anybody else. I can only speak for me. So, yes, so they're dragging out Barack and Obama, or Barack and Michelle, Cardi B, Lady Gaga, Bruce Springsteen, Julia, George. Oprah. Let's not forget Oprah. Oprah, are you going to give a car to all the sad Dems? All the libs that are drowning in their tears? Are you going to give them a car? I don't think so. No, but she might give them like a sample Ozempic pen preloaded. She might do that. I don't know. And something I think that very much worked in Donald Trump's favor, he's got kids all across I was thinking about that. How crazy is this? He's got, I think he has grandchildren, or at least one, that is older than his son. Yes, that's one of the many side effects of having multiple children with a few different women. But boy, it seems to be working out for all of them just fine. Yeah, but I think he takes counsel from, well, maybe not takes counsel, but I do believe that he listens. He takes information and advice from various people. And I do believe he himself said that his youngest, Barron, who, God, I see a lot of his mom in him, which is, that's a very good thing. God dang, that kid is tall. It was so weird watching them come on the stage that night. I was like, my God, look at him. The last time I saw him, he was just a little boy coming out in the middle of the night in a suit, like bleary-eyed. It was like, oh my God, what am I doing here? But I heard Trump himself say, and I think it was to Joe Rogan, and I listened to every minute of that, that Barron told him Oh, Dad, yeah, you got to go on Joe Rogan. And I think he also did Theo Vaughn. I think Barron was also wanted him to do that. And it's just, that's where it's at. And what did Kamala go on? Call her daddy. I mean, I tried to listen to that years ago when it first came out. I was like, years ago when I was a single girl and in my 20s, oh yeah, I would have loved that. Now I'm like, no, I prefer a little more highbrow. But yeah. So what they're calling alternative media, I think that was absolutely huge. And financially it was a good idea. I forget how much she outspent him by. I know there was $1 billion spent. I'm sure George Soros wrote a lot of those checks. God, he's fucking horrible. So yeah, I mean, everything, it was just old, like the Democratic Party is still stuck in another time, where you drag out celebrities that, they're going to tell the little people who they're voting for. There's not a person, especially in this economy. What a blunder. What an absolute blunder. And I maintain that it did the exact opposite of what they wanted it to do. Hey, Patty, how are you? I think there's just no comparison. Do you think for 1 minute that the people that they were trying to persuade think that any of those celebrities can relate in any way, shape, form, or fashion to us? No. And I'm telling you, and I said this quite a while back, it is bad when even people who can afford it are complaining about the price of our daily living necessities, food, gas. And for the people who are really hurting, I mean, it was almost like a slap in the face. Like, God, you're so fucking tone deaf. Kind of like Gwen Walls. Oh my God, that bitch. She is so disgusting. Like, oh God. Can you imagine, Tim, the fate of humanity? If she had become president and something, God forbid, had happened to her, are you going to tell me you honestly would have been comfortable with Tim Walz being your president? No. I don't give a shit what he's done. And where's he from? Wisconsin, Minnesota, right? I don't care what he's done in Minnesota, aside from wanting to put tampons in the boys' bathroom. No. I wouldn't have slept easy knowing that Tim Walz could potentially hold the big red button. And or the football. Yeah, they call it the football. That's the codes for the big red button. Yeah, no, that would not have made me comfy. All right, so now I'm going to tell you, because I think it's only fair if I tell you my thoughts, where I stand on some of the key issues that people, that this election and probably every election were about. Okay, we'll save that one for last. Abortion. I am firmly pro-life. I always have been, and I'm always going to be. But here's the caveat. I think that it should be. I'm not going to put the time frame because I'd be speaking about something I don't know about. But I do not believe in what they call partial birth. Absolutely not. I think that it should be on demand up to, I would be comfortable saying first trimester. After that, it would have to be only to save the life or the health of the mother. The only other thing I'll say about that is I do not believe that it should ever be a form of birth control. Okay. I do not. So that's my position on that. Control. I actually do believe that there should be regulation of what they call, what do they call those? Like an AR, automatic. I would like to see, I would like to see it be made as difficult as possible for the wrong people to get those weapons in their hands. I'm not talking about handguns. I'm talking about large capacity magazines and fully automatic. My husband and I have had many debates about these very things. I mean, in my own house, we don't. Like, I don't know. My husband and we laughed about that stupid Julia Roberts and George Clooney. You know, you don't have to tell your husband. I'm like, how many couples do not know how the other one's going to vote? I mean, my husband and I, the gun control thing, we are worlds apart on that. He doesn't think there should be. Keep the government the fuck out of it as far as he's concerned. Abortion too. He's more in line with my thinking. And I will go so far as to say, if you don't have a uterus, sit down. Okay. There was something else about it might come back to me. Okay, we got that one. Oh, the size of the government, which is, this is like, these are the things that really make you identify with the right and the Republican Party. We need less government. Get the government the fuck out of my life. I mean, think about anything that the government gets involved in and sticks their big ass into. They just make it more problematic. We need less government, not more, in my opinion. The welfare state. I personally am of the opinion that should be government assistance, to me, should be a helping hand when someone needs it for a defined period of time. Hi, Celia. How are you? What I do not think it should be is, I have thoughts on how to fix that system, but I think it should be help when help is needed and for a reasonable, defined period of time, whatever that is. And I could foresee, look, if you all of a sudden find yourself, out of work, you don't have any savings, it can take a while to get back on your feet again, to find a job, to save money, to get an apartment, blah, 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 blah. So, I could even see up to a couple of years. What I do not think should ever happen is that you just live on it and, I think I heard somebody talking about living in the same, government funded housing for decades. Like, no, that should not ever happen. Nobody should be able to do that. because then that becomes a lifestyle. That's not help when one needs it. That's a lifestyle, and that's a choice. So, and all the money that we can save, not giving it to people who are not citizens here, we can put that into our own citizens so they can, learn a trade, go to college, whatever, to help make them as successful as possible so they can take care of whatever it is they need and want in this life. And listen, I get it. Not everybody, I fully recognize and understand that not everybody starts with an advantage. There's no doubt about that. I would never deny that. And I've had this discussion many times with my husband because I'm a lot more, I tend to give that I give a lot of weight to that, to somebody who didn't have good role models, maybe didn't have financial advantages, etc. And my husband and I, we have gone, we argue about that one when it comes up, because my husband never had one dime, not one nickel of help from anyone. My husband paid his entire way through college, and he has a terminal degree, which means a doctorate. There's no, that's why they call it a terminal degree. That's it. There's no, you're done. There's no, you can't get any more. He never, no student loans, nothing. He worked his ass off. My husband, he did not come from money. He had no help. My husband told me he had his first job mowing lawns when he was between 10 and 12, probably 10, knowing my husband. And my husband would get up every single morning of his life, rain, shine, snow, sleet, sick as a dog. My husband has missed 2 days of work in his entire life. One was when he lost a close family member, and the other one was a few years ago when we had to put our dog down. My husband would get up every single morning at 5 o'clock in the morning. He would go work all day long doing hard work, physical work. He would come home, he would shower, shove something down his face, and then he would go to college at night. And my husband spent, I couldn't even tell you how many years of his life, I'd have to sit down and really think about it, on probably maybe 4 hours of sleep a night, because he'd go to night classes and then he'd stay up for hours doing homework, studying, etc. So I had it a lot easier. I had the opposite problem. I had it too easy. So, I mean, I got a work ethic, but it was later in life because I was spoiled and used to having things, the easy way. So, and I like to think that my son, I gave him somewhere in the middle. So, and I can tell you, just based on my personal experience, people I've known throughout my life, both people with nothing and people who nobody in their family is ever going to have to worry about money for as long as they live. And I don't mean just their immediate family. I'm talking generations of their family. I think you're better off if you maybe don't have a lot, because it really does. It makes you very self-sufficient, etc. So yeah, you can imagine my husband, when I'll say, well, look, they didn't have a good start in life for why somebody is either, whatever the issue is. If it's when it comes to criminals, I can rationalize things. I can understand how they started in life maybe contributed, but my husband, he never wants to hear any of that. He doesn't care. So, And, my husband is the one working to pay for fucking people coming here who are illegal here. So, no, I'm not down with that. And I don't frankly know why anybody would be. But if you are and you're in favor of it, then please feel free to get out your checkbook and stroke them checks. Do what makes you happy. So yeah, immigration, come here legally. I'm all for immigrants and, people from countries where there's no opportunity coming here to try and get the American dream, which they better, hopefully we're going to turn it around. But for quite a while, the American dream has been unattainable, even for those who make good money. So imagine those who don't. I'm sorry, nobody, you will not sway me on this. And apparently you also didn't sway at least 51% of this country. And I think it'll be more. Donald Trump won not only the electoral college vote, he won the popular vote. The Senate is Republican, and it's looking like the House is going to be as well. That, my friends, is most definitely a mandate. That is what that is. And people want Trump to turn it around. And finally, woke. I'm not woke. I have never claimed to be woke. This is also something I have in my very own family and not my real extended family. When I was on vacation earlier this year, I went to go meet one of my cousins who was here from the Midwest. And we spent 2 days together. And one night we got into a discussion because she works in the public school. She always has. She is, she's not a teacher. She works another facet. She sees, let's say if there was it's a special needs kind of a thing that she does. She has a master's degree and she's very woke. And we had a very boisterous discussion back and forth, mainly about all the trans mania. Here's my stance on the whole trans. I have more than one friend who's got a gay child. I have gay friends. Trying to think. I don't know anybody personally who's trans. I don't care what you are. I don't care how you dress. I don't care what you call yourself. If you want to go and have surgery, that's your choice. Do it. Where I have the problem is parents wanting to entertain the whole trans issue with medical intervention when it comes to children. I think that is insane. I think it is destructive to these kids. Think back when you were a child. And my own son, we had the fireman phase. We had the Captain Hook phase. And when I tell you that, damn it. Sorry. My son, and I'm sure like many of yours, I would go to the Disney store and he'd pick out a costume and that would be whatever. Usually there was a correlation between whatever it was he was watching a lot of and what he wanted to be. Well, when he watched a lot of Peter Pan, he wanted to be Captain Hook. He had the whole costume. It was hilarious. Hat, huge hat, a Velcro parrot that he wore on his wrist, like a plastic sword. He was Captain Hook. Fireman phase, he wore yellow rubber boots in Florida. No matter where we went, he wore the boots. Imagine how hot it was. And a yellow, oh God, I'll never forget it. A yellow, like polyester plastic raincoat and a hat, a red fireman hat. I drew the line at the hat and the coat. I'm like, you can wear the boots. We're not wearing the hat and the coat, all over. So I think we all go through these phases of things we think we want to be, things we think we are. Hey, once the child is 18 years old, they're an adult, they do what they want. And I'll go so far as to say, I think if you put your child on these hormone puberty blockers, in an effort to not really get myself in trouble, I will not say what I think should happen to parents who do that. I think it's, at the very least, I think it's abuse. I think it's physical abuse. I think it's emotional abuse. There's, who's the celebrity? Megan Fox. Do you know that she's got like 4 children and every single one of them is trans? What the fuck are the chances of that? I mean, a lot of it, I think, is kind of Munchausen by proxy. Because, hey, Blank Slate, how are you? People get these, the parents, like, for whatever reason, I don't know. And that is not to say that I do not believe and that I do not give credence to, just people, friends I have that are gay. Most of them say, oh, I knew from a very early age. I don't discount that. I believe that. But when you want to, and trans and gay is not the same thing at all. I understand that. I'm not saying that it is. But that is not something that is could physically really, really hurt you later in life. So I think that is insane. I think it's way too far. And most importantly, you don't need to be telling my children about any of it. When my cousin told me the shit that they are teaching these children from a young age. And no, I am not sitting here saying that, oh, well, you're trying to, I made the mistake of using the word indoctrination and she like lost her shit. Don't use that word with me. I'm like, oh, sorry. Kind of what it is. I just think that, as I said to her, why are you talking to these children about any of that at all? I think that every child, no matter what, should be treated with kindness, respect, and dignity. And if they are not, because what she said to me was, we have to teach it because the parents won't. And keep in mind, where she lives, you go to school. Hi, Auntie M, how are you? You go to school where you live. And this is a very bougie school. And she said, we have to teach it because the parents won't. I said, well, maybe they don't want to teach it. Why does it was a whole thing. And I don't want to get too sidetracked on it. And I said to her what I just said. Hey, don't talk to my kids about anything. Not at that age. This is elementary school. And she said to me, they actually had a 4th grader that they had to tell the whole class why this child has their own special designated bathroom. And I don't remember I don't know. I can't remember if it was a little boy that wanted to, live as a little girl or vice versa. I do not remember. But I kept saying to her, why draw attention to it? Okay, so I can understand why the child, you're going to give them a designated bathroom. But why do you need to tell everybody in the class? I maintain that is not the school's job to do. That's my job to do when I want to do it. And that's why I said to her, I believe every child should be treated with kindness, respect, dignity, every person, but especially children. And if there's a child that is, singling out another child for some reason, then that is up to the parent. They need to, let the school address it with the child individually. And then obviously the parents need to be brought into it and said, hey, I was lucky. The only times I ever had teachers contact me was because my son was either talking too much or he didn't turn his homework in. Never. My son, I knew from an early age, he was very soft-hearted, just like his mom. I don't want to see anybody treated unkindly. But it's also not the school or the government's fucking job to be telling my kids about things that I don't think they're ready to be learning about. Okay, so there's that. And the whole pronoun thing, I don't fucking get it. Why would anybody want to be called a they, them? And then, like, my sister-in-law told me at her job, she has a lot of Zoom meetings with people. She said, you literally have to put your pronouns. I'm like, so you're supposed to remember something that is so utterly unnatural, which is calling someone they, them. And then if you don't, oh my God, look out. You're hateful, you're bigoted, you're what? No, it's just not something that most people, it doesn't even sound right. Why would you want to be called a they, them? I'll call you whatever you want. He, she, sir, ma'am. I don't care, but they, them? What? No. Nobody gets that. And it's not because we are hateful. It's just, and then the last thing, which actually played a lot of people said it was a big deal for them in this election. I don't have a girl, so I wasn't as understanding of it until I really started thinking about it. But biological males playing on female teams or going against girls. It's not fair. Men are biologically bigger and stronger, whether they transition into another gender or not. They just are. I heard a girl, this was weeks ago, on the news. She just gave a brief interview. And I don't remember if it was volleyball or basketball, but this girl had to play against a biological male, and she got hit in the head and the face with the ball. And do you know she has got neurological damage that they said is likely permanent? And you could hear it in her speech. It was almost as if she'd had a stroke. It was devastating. So I think that's a problem. They like to bring up Title IX in relation to that, which, why? I had to ask my husband, listen, I'm not big into sports. I don't fucking care about sports. But I said to my husband, what the hell is this Title IX they're always talking about? So Title IX is to make it so that if colleges have boys teams, they have to also have a girls team. And somehow they're trying to make this a Title IX issue. There's more to it. I don't. Why do I feel like there was some other part of that I'm leaving out? Listen, I don't pretend to be an expert on any of this, and I'm definitely not an expert on Title IX, but my husband did explain it to me, and it did make perfect sense. He said it's not a Title IX thing. I don't know why they're trying to make it a Title IX thing, but they are. He said Title IX originally had something to do with, it was funding or something, because the colleges were pouring all the money into what makes the money, which is, usually the men's sports. They had to allot the same, I think, an in-kind program for the girls. So, hey, Ange Carter, how are you? C Bon, how are you? I think that's a new name. Welcome. Welcome, even if you want to just come in and tell me you hate me and I'm horrible. I'm not saying you said that, but I know, I'm sure there's going to be some people that are pissed at me, but that's okay. I don't care. Oh, don't worry. We're going to get into some of that propaganda and the scare tactics. So, yeah, so that's listen, I don't want to see anyone treated badly or unfairly. But I think a large part of the reason that the Democratic Party just flamed out so badly is because they're radical social agendas. They truly, I think Bernie Sanders, was it Bernie Sanders? I know he wrote a scathing, I think it was an op-ed piece. They call it a letter, but I'm sure it was an op-ed. Telling the Democratic Party I think it was Bernie Sanders, who's just slightly to the right of Castro. Bernie said, who, by the way, Joe Rogan was a Bernie bro last election. What did he said something along the lines of, it's no wonder it's no wonder working class people, which, let's face it, that's what makes up the majority of this country, are working class people. And he said, it's no wonder the working class left the Democratic Party, because the Democratic Party left them a long time ago. I mean, it's crazy. We've had like a complete role reversal. Well, thanks, Auntie M. Tell that to, I don't know, somebody came in here and basically told me I was horrible. We've had a complete role reversal. The now Democratic Party looks a lot like the Republican Party, or the opposite. The Republican Party now has a lot of the same traits that the Democratic Party had, like, say, when I was growing up. So there's that. Okay. You know what I think happened this election? I think we all got exactly what we deserved, as follows. I think Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party powers that be, which, let's face it, is Barack Obama, the Clintons, that evil bitch Nancy Pelosi. Oh God, Nancy, fucking retire already. Somebody remind me to tell you the next time we meet how much money Paul Pelosi has made. on stock picks since old Nancy's been Nancy and her pin. Oh my God, every time I see that fucking pin on Nancy, you know what I think of? Game of Thrones, Hand of the King. Nancy's the Hand of the King, except Nancy thinks she is the king. Yeah, Paul Pelosi is apparently it's no insider trading going on. It's not pillow talk. It's not like anything Nancy has access to, through regulatory hearings or anything like that. No, he's just a really good prognosticator. He's better than, everyone. He knows how to pick them, except boyfriends, of course. I mean, men who seemingly unrelated to anything are found broken into his house in their underwear. Yeah, no, that wasn't his grinder date. That was just some. Oh, and I do believe, you know what? I think that was probably just a disgruntled somebody that climbed over Nancy Pelosi's wall in his underwear, of course, to such a crock of shit. Nancy doesn't want a wall, but she's got one around her house. There you go. That kind of like puts a little bow on it for you. But so yes, we all got what we deserve. Kamala and the Democratic power brokers, the powers that be, they got what they deserve. She fucked Kamala and the power brokers. They fucked Joe, and she lost. They honestly, and for all of those of you who are so upset about this, why were you not upset about the way that was done? Do you know why that was done? She was one of the most horrible candidates they could have put up. She couldn't make it through the 2016 primary. She quit before being able to get one vote in her presidential campaign run because she was fucking horrible. Oh, that was back when she thought Joe was a racist, remember? Yeah, there was that unfortunate little thing. But that all just goes bye-bye when they said, drop out. We'll give you, we're hiring, the whole staff is going to be DEI. We'll give you the VP job. Don't even get me started on that damn fool, Karine Jean-Pierre, and her fucking, oh my God. Her wardrobe is like Richard Simmons' Deal-A-Meal. My God. I applaud her not being afraid of color. However, the colors that she puts together, and she's not exactly a Mensa. So Kamala, who cannot her best moment was on The View. Those fucking communist hags. Except for them, of course, because they're at the top of the food chains. All you plebes, all you little people, take what we give you. Is there anything you do differently? Nope, not a thing I can think of, because I can't think. That wasn't a question. That wasn't on our approved list of questions. I mean, she failed to prepare for the most basic questions that any dumbass like me sitting on the sidelines would know she was going to be asked. She took 2 days to prepare for the Brett Baer interview, which incidentally was the one and only interview she gave to opposition media. Everybody else had to like pet her like a kitty cat, while she was sitting there. And she was rude as shit. She was combative. She wouldn't answer fucking questions. All she wanted to say is, Joe Biden's not running. Well, no shit, because Joe Biden has been in the Oval, he's been under an umbrella at, what's the name of that beach he likes in Maryland so much? Yeah, drooling, eating pablum. Well, which she incidentally lied about and covered up for however many years it was going on, a long time. So she couldn't answer spontaneous questions, even when she studied Rehoboth Beach. Thank you. Even when she studied, she couldn't. We should have done a bingo card. Lawns. we're Americans, we have aspirations. We are an aspirational people. What else did she like to say? Lawns, aspirations. She had buzzwords, you know. She was not, listen, nobody will ever convince me that woman was smart. Don't ask me. I don't know. I don't know how the fuck she got through. I don't know how she got into college. I don't know how she got out of law school. I don't know any of it. I have thoughts, but middle class family. The bitch was not middle class. Both of her parents were professors. Her father teaches Marxist theory, or he did. I don't believe she ever worked at McDonald's. She was so bold, a bullshitter and a liar, that she just didn't even care. She was on record, video, saying there's no question about it, I would ban fracking. That was in her 2016 failed spectacularly presidential run. There's no doubt I would ban fracking. Fast forward to Pennsylvania. No, I would not ban fracking. No. I mean, and just so it takes a lot of arrogance to be that in your face about being a liar. She just didn't give a fuck. She thought she had it sewn up. And you still got all the morning asshole and, well, all the networks, you know, CNN, MSNBC. They don't get it. I don't know why. Good. Sit in that. Stay with that. That's great for us. We love that you don't know. It's because of what Sunny Hostin said. It's because this is a misogynistic patriarchy. Fuck Sunny Hostin. Sunny Hostin went to Notre Dame. Sunny Hostin's son is at Harvard. I believe her daughter's at another Ivy. And my understanding is she lives in a very nice home. Sunny is not one of the downtrodden little people. She just wants to tell you, little people, what you should do. I don't know why they'd vote against their own reproductive health. Oh, but she's going to tell you. I don't know why they'd go against their own interests. Well, they've spoken. We the people have spoken, Sunny. Take your $10,000 jacket and shove it down your mouth. I don't know. You're like, I cannot fucking stand her. She is horrible. And just for the record, Your Honor, I really didn't like her when she was on court TV. And that's a true story. I didn't. She just looks better now. Okay, so Kamala gets fucked, gets what she deserves. No, Kamala didn't get fucked. Kamala fucked Joe. So Kamala fucks Joe, and Kamala loses, which is exactly what she deserves. Joe got fucked by Kamala and the power brokers, and Joe fucked all of us, the American people, letting in millions of illegals, letting the price of everyday goods fucking skyrocket because of all their big giant checks they were writing. There was the lockdowns. It wasn't just, it was multifaceted. So Joe fucked us, the American public, but Joe, you know how we fucked you? Your legacy is going to be that you are going to be a one-term president who went down in the most spectacular way. You all lost not only the Electoral College vote, it was a landslide. You lost the what do they call that? The popular vote, and the House and the Senate, hopefully. I agree. I think that is a mandate. Joe, you're going to have a hell of a time finding a contractor to build that library. Just call George Soros. Don't worry, he'll fund it. So that's how Joe fucked us, but Joe got his. And as far as I'm concerned, we the American people, we're getting what we deserve because we are going to go back to some normalcy. We're going to get a president who's going to get us out of this fucking mess we're in. And I do believe he will do that. And is that me signing on saying, I love Donald Trump? No, he says a lot of stupid shit that I wish he didn't say, but that's him. And guess what? There's people in my extended family that are suffering under his administration. So I don't care what Donald Trump says. And if you were more comfortable with, do you think all these Middle Eastern countries like Iran, how about Putin? Do you think any of those fuckers would have had any fear at all of a Kamala Harris / Obama? Yeah, because we all know he'd have been running the show. Probably like he's been running this show. Let's hope. Although I don't know, he did a lot better. Although my husband would tell you, no, he didn't. But yeah, would you feel better about Kamala having to deal with those tyrants? You're a fool if you did. A lot of those countries are of the Muslim religion, and this is not a commentary on the Muslim religion. I have Muslim family members in my extended family. And I can tell you this, and I'm speaking from personal knowledge. Muslims, they're not for, I'm not going to paint with that brush, but many Muslim men, they're still, that is a patriarchy. Like the man is the head of the household. And I can tell you, they would have had zero respect for a Kamala Harris presidency. And I think it would have put us in a more precarious position in the world than we are already in. There are wars everywhere. I tell you what, if you want to lose sleep, I wish I had never heard this. And I'm not being dramatic. I'm not kidding. This is totally serious. I listened to Tulsi Gabbard on Joe Rogan. I listened to it last Sunday as I was painting a piece of furniture in my house. And I did not realize, I had listened to a couple podcasts, and I didn't realize that the one I was listening to was 4 months old until, it would have been on for probably, I don't know, maybe an hour. I wish I had never heard this. She started talking about her thoughts on a nuclear holocaust happening. Like she says, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. I hope she's wrong. She laid out a lot of reasons that, why she thinks that. It was terrifying. It really was. And I mean it when I said I wish I'd never heard it, because there's not been a day since last week that it hasn't crossed my mind. That's one of those things. I mean, how can you can't really do anything about it? But it's like she said, if you don't think that all these politicians, and she was one, if you don't think that all these politicians, she said, believe me when I tell you, there are provisions in place if something like that happens, where they go with their families and they continue to run whatever is left of the rest of the, country's population. And we don't have an invite. So when I tell you that I feel a little better for the next 4 years, knowing that now some of the most problematic people, Putin, Iran, I don't know who their Ayatollah is now, or I don't even know what they call their head of state, but is the Ayatollah just a religious figure? I don't care. Whoever it is, they hate us. Okay? They would love to see us gone. We've got the whole Israeli-Palestinian conflict going on. Anti-Semitism is rampant. I shouldn't say rampant. I never thought in my life I would ever see anti-Semitism like we've seen it in the at least last year. I mean, my God, some horrible shit just happened in Amsterdam the other day. Israeli soccer fans being attacked and like put in hospital. And the people in Amsterdam, whoever they were that were, involved in this, wanting to see people's IDs. And if you had an Israeli ID, you were getting your ass kicked. I mean, it's very serious, the shit that's going on right now. And I'm sorry, I never thought for 1 minute that she was the one to handle the job. Not at all. Not at all. I think, listen, he's got a proven track record, whether you like him or not. And for the 100th time, I don't like many things that he says, but I don't give a damn about what he says at this point. Oh, and let's not forget that Kamala never gave not one press conference. Not one. She'd talk to friendly fire reporters on the tarmac, part of the fucking White House press crew. The only one I ever saw give her, oh no, that was KJP. Jackie Heinrich from Fox. Oh God, she mixes it up with KJP every day. I love it. Press corps, press crew. I've been talking too long. What time? How long have I been? Blah, blah, blah. I'm sure too long for some people. So I think this is a good way to, I don't know about you. I mean, JD Vance, Tim Walz. And we're going to watch just a couple minutes of Gwen and a couple minutes of Tim. And do you know why? I mean, why I believe she did not pick the obvious Kamala. Why didn't Kamala pick? I mean, the only reason I can come up with that Kamala Harris chose Tim Walz is one I heard on some podcast or news somewhere. Y'all, this is what I've been listening to while I'm not listening to YouTube. Whatever I'm doing in my day, working, driving, shopping, cleaning, whatever it is, I'm listening to podcasts or news. And oftentimes they're one and the same. I heard that the only reason she picked him is because he was going to be one of these. You could just pat him on the head like a puppy and say, okay, you sit there in the corner. She needed somebody that wasn't going to overshadow her, give her any pushback. And, I guess, was Minnesota a swing state? They were Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. Oh, listen, I'm horrible with geography. I barely know Florida geography. I shouldn't have meant that. If he was from a swing state, I don't give a shit. The obvious choice was Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania. But you know why she didn't pick him? I mean, my thoughts on why she didn't pick him. Well, he's Jewish. And popular thought is, well, that was going to piss off the Muslim vote in Michigan. And I'm pretty sure even Dearborn, Michigan. Now, I never thought that the male Muslims, I don't believe that they would have voted for a female. But she was running a pro-Israeli stance in one state, while in that, I think that was in Pennsylvania, and then in Michigan, she was running the exact opposite position. I mean, my friends, that's called pandering. That is called pandering. That's all that is. And guess what? I don't believe she meant any of it. That bitch would have said anything to get elected. Once these people get a little taste of power, and she's had a bigger taste than many. I mean, the VP, she's a fucking dipshit. I'm sorry. In my mind, she is a dipshit. She got where she is because DEI, and I hope they will put an end to DEI. And listen, I'm for DEI, okay? Just not as a mandate of 3 letters. I am all about, well, what I want the best person for the job chosen. I don't give a shit what color you are. I don't care what gender you are. I don't care what your sexual preference is. I don't give a damn. I want the best person for the job. That's not what has been going on for 4 years. So I am absolutely for inclusion. Absolutely. Diversity. Absolutely. Equity. That's one of those things. You can't make equity. You just can't. We don't live in a world of equity. If we did, everyone would be born with the same intellect. Everyone would be born with the same physical capabilities, etc. So I'm not so big on the equity part of the DEI. And I'm not going to be told by 3 letters of the alphabet what to do. I don't need 3 letters of the alphabet to tell me to be a decent person. I can't help the people that do need that. But I'm not one of them. And as far as the workplace goes and education, I want the best person, like kind of like to the victor go the spoils. I want the best person to get the most rewards. So if that's the best job, if that's the highest paying job, give it to them. Whoever earns it. Not because because we're checking boxes. And I mean, have we really not come any further in this country in all the years? All the people who fought for civil rights, for women's rights. Have we really not come any further in this country than we think we need to have 3 letters of the alphabet tell us how to be good people? Well, I don't need them. And let's just put it this way. For the people that do need them, those letters aren't going to make them be decent. They're just not. And I've never known anybody, honestly, I've never known anyone who has worked hard and earned everything they have. I've never known any of those people to sit back and say, and they're people of all different types. I've never heard any of them sit back and say, well, if only I'd had the opportunity to be the White House press secretary, even though I'm, I just don't find her to be particularly bright. Before we watch Timmy and Gwen, let's just go over a couple of the blatant fucking lies that were perpetrated over and over and over and over by, they're not the media. I don't even know what to call them. There's no traditional mainstream media anymore. There's just not. There's just the cable networks that are an extension of the Democratic Party. So here's a couple that I would hear, and I'm just like, how the fuck does she stand up there and lie her balls off? And that's what it was. And I know because I heard the entire thing with my own ears. So this is not, oh, I heard it here or I heard it there. No, I heard it for myself. Let's see. Oh, here's a good one. The Donald Trump will take away your reproductive rights. He has already said he would enact a nationwide ban on abortion. That is absolute pure utter bullshit. He said the contrary. He said he would never do that. And for anybody that's worried about that, don't be worried about it, because it's not possible. He cannot fire off an executive order saying, I'm banning all abortion. No. It would start in the House. It would go to the Senate. It would come to his desk. Even if he signed such a thing, it would go to the Supreme Court, and that would be it. The decision that they're always referring back to as Dobbs, the only thing that Dobbs did was it gave the founders of the Constitution, they wanted as little federal government involvement with the individual states as possible. And all Dobbs said, it was not overturning Roe v. Wade. That's another thing you hear a lot. It might have turned it over in the respect, not in the respect of there's no abortion anywhere. It sent it back to the individual states. So, and I understand. Florida, I don't think we're particularly stringent on it here. That I don't know, because it's not an issue for me. And I don't have a daughter. So I know that there are states where it is harder to get an abortion than it is in other states. And here's the fact of the matter is, I think the Democratic Party thought that was going to be they thought it was going to be a one-issue election. And I mean, I have to say, I understand as you get older, things that might have been important to you before are not as important to you now. I will always be pro-choice, always. It doesn't matter that I unless it is, my fertility days, those are bye-bye. But there's not going to be any nationwide abortion ban. It's not going to happen. He does not have the authority. People seem to think he can just, and I don't think that's even what he wants to do, because let's remember, Donald Trump was a Democrat most of his life. Okay. And possibly more important than all of that, his wife, Melania, she is staunchly pro-choice. So ladies, if nothing else, rest easy knowing that Melania, she's got your back. Okay. Melania's not going to let Donald, not if he wants to enjoy marital relations, I would say. He is not going to do that. Oh, here's a good one. Donald Trump has said that he would call in the government, bring out the U.S. military to be used against the enemy within. He says that there is the enemy within. He's got a list of enemies. Oh, for fuck's sake. We don't have time to get into lawfare right now. Oh, that's a whole separate thing in and of itself. We can do that too. But what the man said when asked by a reporter about did he think there was going to be any problems with the transfer of power, however it went. And he said, no, not with my voters. And, if something like that were to happen, we would, if we had to, and there were, I'm slightly paraphrasing here, and there was rioting, we would bring out the National Guard or the military if that's what we had to do to get it under control, because we're not going to watch people burning down the fucking United States. Okay. Oh, Tim, didn't you have your city burn? Almost one of your big cities. So that is what he said. And there was something, oh, damn it. There was something else where that was concerned. Oh, he said, because, sometimes you have the enemy within. Do you know who he was talking about? That fucking dirtbag Adam Schiff. And he is the enemy within as far as I'm concerned. Him and that fucking disgusting Jerry Nadler. Jerry Nadler, the embodiment of Tweedledee and Tweedledum. So that's what he said. They never played the whole clip. They would just play the part about, we'll bring out the military. It was, the enemy within, and we'll bring out the military. I mean, those hags from The View repeated it over and over, that Donald Trump's got an enemies list, and people who don't vote for him, he's going to send the military to your house, and they're going to put you in an internment camp. I mean, how damn stupid can people be? My God, people who watch those old fucking bitter hags, I mean, I'd be embarrassed to admit that I listen to people who seem to think so little of the intellect of the American viewing audience. But that's just me. Oh, here's one I love. Liz Cheney, who is one of the biggest fucking warmongers, along with her daddy, Dick. Halliburton, anyone? Yeah. They've gotten very, very rich off of several wars. What the media said that he said, and I don't even know how these people do this. How do you perpetrate this kind of fucking blatant lie and bullshit and still have people that will watch you? What the left-wing arm of the propaganda machine of the Democratic Party, what they told people was that, which all of this makes the case for, do your own research. Don't just listen to partisan hacks who are doing nothing but serving their own self-interest. Liz Cheney, I guess Donald Trump didn't pay her didn't want to make her any richer. When I guess she wanted a cabinet appointment, and she wanted shit from Donald Trump, and I guess he didn't entertain it the way she wanted him to in his first administration. I don't know. I'm not having dinner with him, but there's bad blood there. So Liz Cheney, of course, like any principled person does, follows the money first and foremost, and the power. And I'm sure something tells me that she went to Kamala and said, oh, well, fuck Donald Trump. And how would you like to get my former Republican self, my endorsement? Oh, I think that would do a lot for you. But, what are you going to do for me? I think I kind of want to be, Secretary of the Defense. That would be pretty appropriate for, my skill set. And, they did whatever they did. And what the media told you was that Donald Trump said that Liz Cheney needed to be put in front of 9 guns in a firing squad and should be murdered. Now, how people are so, to me, like, how can you be so gullible that you would believe that? That is not what he said. I heard what he said with my own ears. And what he said was, slightly paraphrasing, Liz Cheney is one of the biggest war hawks there are, along with her dad, Dick. And she's bitter because I wouldn't, give her whatever meeting, he said she always wanted a meeting, and I'm sure she wanted a cabinet appointment. And, let's see if she still was such a war hawk, if she was the one who was facing down the barrel of 9 guns pointing at her face. Would she still think it was such a great idea to go to that war, to stay in that war, to start that war? That's what he said. So, but that's not, they left a little bit of it out. And then the other one that I love. And I never heard anybody make this remark until yesterday. And it was not from a broadcast the same day, so probably a couple days ago. Every time I would hear Kamala Harris say, it's not as if she had any way of knowing that when she took the, 3 questions that she took on the tarmac, running to her next campaign event on the taxpayer dime aboard, do they call it Air Force 2 or Marine 1? The other plane that we pay for. It's, how would she know that anyone would ask? Well, what is your plan to bring down prices of things like groceries and gas? Groceries, they're still too expensive. I know they're too expensive. You know they're too expensive. We need to make them less expensive. And I've got a plan to make them less expensive because they're too expensive and I know they're too expensive. And I have a plan. Her head is empty. I told my husband, I don't know jack shit about a lot of this stuff. I could have done a better job on the fly, completely blindsided, with a microphone in my face than she could, having had every fucking night of her life to practice with the finest political minds there are. But she didn't care to do that because much like they just had a coup to get rid of Biden and they decided to anoint her. And my guess would be because she was a woman of color and they knew that all hell would break loose if they skipped over her and held a primary, or, well, they wouldn't have been able to do it with anybody but her. And I truly believe that. And I think a lot of people believe that. And guess what? Her performance, well, it shows we were right in that thinking. What she would say as to what her plan was to bring the prices of groceries down was, well, I'm going to go after them for price gouging. Price gouging. Ma'am, do you know that groceries have at most, a 2% margin of profit? I don't know anybody that would call that price gouging. And why? None of the media that would ask that question would ever come back with what I just said. I'm certainly no economist, okay? No, I mean, I like to spend money. The other side of the balance sheet, I'm not so interested in that. But I mean, come on. Price gouging? That's not price gouging. Price gouging is taking advantage of people in a time of crisis or, crazy, unexpected event. So she was a horrible candidate. That's why she lost. She lost because she was horrible. And because the Democratic Party is so fucking out of touch, they think that celebrities are their answer. And they are so far out there in their insane social policies. We're sick of it. We're fucking tired of it. The pendulum is swinging back to the middle, and that's where hopefully we'll stay. I mean, I can't do anything about the crazies that, have Neanderthal thinking back in another time. But I don't think like that. So let's just listen to a couple minutes of Gwen Walls and her so sexy husband, not Tim. Oh God, he's so disgusting. All right, let me go to my history. Oh, there he is. Okay. Oh, we don't even have to watch the ad. I love it. All right. This is, blank slate. A pageant queen would have given a better answer, a more cerebral answer. You know what? We're not going to listen to this whole thing, so I am going to put the link to this in the chat just in case anybody wants to go, because I had not heard any of this until today. And y'all, I'm so sorry. I have not been looking at the chat like I would like to. It's hard enough for me to stay on. Hey, Legal Pickle, how are you? It's hard enough for me to I know this is going to make a lot of people upset. That is not my intention. And hey, I don't care what anybody believes. I appreciate everybody who comes here. I really do. Obviously, I forgot to turn my shortly. 15 minutes maybe. All right, let's listen to a few minutes of Gwen. I did. I already put it in the chat. Y'all, I don't know what it is. This woman, Gwen Walls has me out so much. All right, here we go.
Has just taken the stage at Egan High School, where she's going to be speaking to the public. We know Tim Walls will also be joining.
Is that a Cardi B song?
Later on. Let's go.
Good afternoon, Minnesota.
Gwen, do you know the My Pillow guy? Oh, no, probably wrong. Oh, sorry, wrong guy.
There is just no.
Okay, can you look at her fucking face, please? What is all this? Like, Gwen, did you fall in a vat of glycerin before you came out? Do you use Crisco? Is that Pond's cold cream you didn't wipe off? What is going on with this? Like, that's not a glow. That's an oil slick. Like, I don't know what.
No place like home. Mm-hmm. And I am so proud to be here with all of you.
Bitch, you're so full of shit. You slid in there on a tidal wave of tears.
Friends, family, and our partners for progress.
What the fuck is a partner for progress, Gwen? What is that?
Yeah.
She is the biggest phony, fake. Oh God, she is just.
Right here in this.
My mom hates her too. My mom would call me. She's like, "Oh my God, I don't know what it is about that woman. I cannot stand her."
State that we love. Tim and I could not be more grateful for the support you've offered us.
Aww.
Not only these last few months, but for nearly 2 decades. Thanks.
2 decades. Why the fuck are 2 decades? Wait, can't you only be the governor for 2 terms? In Florida, you get 2 terms. I don't know about. No way has he been the governor for 5 years. That maybe she's talking about other levels of government. God, I don't know. Did I just broke him off?
So from our family to yours.
Drinking coffee every day didn't work for me, but I couldn't figure out
Drink
why
more
until I went from 184.
Ooh, sticky notes. I need some. What happened? No, I don't want to read. Why is this buffering? The hell? Gwen, is that you? Oh, there we go.
Thank you.
No, thank you, Gwen. Thank you for giving me the inspiration.
And let me say, Kamala Harris is a remarkable leader.
Wrong. Wrong. What the hell exactly has Kamala ever done besides blow the fucking right dude to really get the party started? Allegedly. She makes the most bizarre facial
And
expressions.
she would have been a remarkable president.
Wrong. She would have been a horrible president. She was so out of her depth. It was obvious. Look, hence where you're standing in the high school auditorium that you should stay in. Can you imagine this dipshit being the first lady? Oh my God.
I am so thankful that on this journey, we had the privilege to get to know her.
What did you think of Cardi B, Gwen? I'm just curious. Like, I don't know. Is Wet Ass Pouzwa, is that on your playlist? Like when you're power walking in the mall, do you listen to Cardi B? I can't help but think that Gwen from Minnesota, like, probably wasn't such a fan of Cardi B. This is how full of shit these people are.
And Doug, and they're wonderful.
Doug. Oh, yes. You know what Doug's like claim to fame is besides banging the nanny and getting her pregnant? Yeah. You know, there's a story out there from a very successful lawyer who says that he pretty much backhanded her at Cannes Film Festival because she had the nerve to put her hand on the shoulder of a valet to try and get his attention. Yeah. That Doug, old Dougie Emhoff.
Wonderful family.
Great guy. Yeah.
We are forever grateful.
Yes. Yeah.
So I understand how we're all feeling today.
Look at her face.
And
Oh my
trust
God.
me, I've taken on many a battle and fallen short many a time.
Like with that suit you're wearing and your unfortunate like cold cream problem.
And losing stings.
Oh,
Yes.
oh man, she reminds me of Betty. Losing stings, yeah. And therefore, I'm going to put some arsenic in your coffee.
And it's okay to feel sad.
Is it
And
okay
scared.
to feel happy? Scared, sad, and scared.
And a little surprised,
You shouldn't be surprised at all.
if I'm being honest.
Oh.
And to give yourself the grace to grieve what could have been.
Hence the title of this episode of my subpar shitty YouTube channel. Oh, let's grieve what could have been. Oh, God. All the taxpayer funded Naval Observatory home. Free rides on no more waiting at the municipal airport for shitty late JetBlue flights. Oh, Gwen, I know all they could have been.
But moments
Taxpayer funded sex change operations for convicted murderers. Oh, I know. My God. I'm going to grieve tonight, Gwen. I'm going to grieve right into a pint of, well, no, maybe a gallon of blue. Oh, God. If you like mint ice cream, Bluebell peppermint bark ice cream is out and it's divine.
like this.
I'm going to celebrate
ask
you
us to
tonight,
reflect
Gwen.
on what matters most, to reflect on what it is that we are fighting for.
I think I just enumerated a lot of those for the last probably 400 hours.
And I can't help but think back to when Tim and I first met. We were teachers in a school.
Oh, was it a school in China? And were you in Tiananmen Square when the massacre happened? Tim said he was, but he's not. Oh, Tim, we didn't even get into Tim. Tim has a problem with the truth. And when I say a problem with the truth, I mean a problem telling the truth. Yes, he inflates everything he's ever done to make it sound impressive. I think the most impressive thing he's done is find a way to get boys to believe that they could use tampons that he put in the boys' bathroom, and he found a way, it sounds like, to get high school children's parents to fund his let's just say I don't know. I have my own thoughts on why I think old Timmy was in China all the time. And I don't think it has anything to do with civics.
Just like this one. And we
That's
built our
where it should
relationship
stay.
on a shared belief that every
China?
single student mattered. And
How about the Chinese ones? Did they matter more? Do you have a fondness for China?
everyone deserved a shot to succeed.
I agree. We just can't mandate that. But yeah, everyone does deserve a chance to succeed. I just, as soon as she gets to the part where she starts screaming in this microphone, because apparently in all her years in government or being the first lady of Minnesota, Gwen has never seen a microphone and doesn't know how they work. So as soon as we get to that part, which is about 1 minute away, we'll fast forward to Tim Skip on the stage. And I haven't seen 1 minute of him.
Now, as an English teacher,
looks like she's
I choose my words
constipated.
carefully.
Oh,
So
do
when
you
we
now?
say
Well, you should help Tim with that.
everyone, we mean
Tim chooses his lies carefully, but not carefully enough because they've been very easily proved to be lies. Fabulations, I'll call them.
everyone, every single one.
Tim wanted people to believe that being in China, a month before the Tiananmen Square massacre happened, well, he just thought he was there when Tiananmen Square happened, because I'm sure they're the same thing. Well, okay, can somebody tell me, when did this become a thing? All these tools, these fucking tool bags, no matter who they are, they come on stage and they're walking out and they're, oh my God. I fucking hate politicians, all of them. I hate all politicians.
This belief
Just
has
not
been the
equally.
driving force of Tim's public service
Besides bringing school children to China.
mine too.
Am I the only one who thinks that's weird? Here you are, you teach children. Your summers are your free time. No matter how much you like kids. I mean, I like kids. I have kids. I don't want to spend 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year with kids. So am I the only one who finds it strange that he teaches kids all year and then every summer for many years wants to go spend time with more kids, his kids, Chinese kids? I don't know. I think there was some other motive there.
all worked so hard to build a Minnesota that all of us can call home, where everyone can live with safety and dignity and opportunity and, yes, freedom.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Gwen, look at her. Gwen, honey, I guess nobody's told you. The other 49 states, they also have freedom. Oh my God, she looks like she needs laxative or something. This, Gwen, it's not a good look. Stop.
So now, more than ever, that important work
What important work would that be?
continues. Because we have a responsibility to keep this haven, this special place, Minnesota, safe and inclusive.
Isn't Minnesota the home of Paul Bunyan? Gwen, or is that North Dakota?
And strong.
God, she is so fucking awkward. Oh, God.
Because our neighbors, they are counting on us.
Oh,
So
my goodness.
let's take everything we're feeling, our fear, our fatigue, our frustration,
And punch you in the face.
us use it as our fuel.
Fuel. You got a little too much pent up fuel.
Yes, we have got to dig in, and not only dig in, we have got to dig deep. And
I
we
didn't even
have
know
to
she
be
was gonna say that.
steadfast
Can you just
and
come on.
stubborn.
Stubborn? What is stubborn?
It is going to take all of us.
Hurry up,
That's
Gwen.
right. But we cannot, and we will not give up this fight.
Your face?
I'm not sure if you heard me. We cannot and we will not give up this fight.
You're losing the fight with that microphone. I can tell you that. Oh my sweet Jesus. She looks like a fucking seal, like a trained seal. Who did I see? Who is it that does something? Oh my God. She's so gross. Oh my God.
Come on!
What is this? What is this? I know that bitch was never a cheerleader. So, like, what is all this weird? What is all this weird shit she's doing?
That's right. We cannot and we will not give up this fight.
AirPod warning. Sorry. The cameraman is like, oh, sweet Jesus, pull back, pull back.
That's right. All right, you can sit down now.
Ooh, Gwen, are you like a, I don't know, it almost makes me think she's got a little like Minnesota dominatrix in her somewhere. You can sit down now. Oh my God. Okay, that was the good part. Now let's watch Tim skip on the stage and then, okay, whoop, hold on. Getting ahead of ourselves here. Oh, an ad. Oh, look at that. Okay, I don't know what that was. Oh, we missed the good part. The good part is when he skipped up to the. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I cannot, like, I saw those two do that awkward, like, oh, God. I just kept thinking to myself, please tell. Oh, I don't see those two. Like, I don't think conjugal relations. I think those left the building.
My parents live in the same small town. My town is a small town.
Oh, Magilla Gorilla is taking the stage. Woo! For one who called Elon Musk gay, and again, I don't care if you're gay or you're straight or if you're bi, tri. I don't care. But like, don't be throwing glitter. If you yourself are probably, although I'd say he's, I don't know. I was gonna say I think he's in the closet, but I don't know. Just watch his mannerisms. He's distracted. What fucking grown man does this? I mean, there you go. You're telling me that you were going to feel safe if this weirdos was in charge of your very life? If something had happened to her, God forbid she won, and something, God forbid, happened to her, you're telling me that this guy right here, and I know they say nobody votes for the president based on the vice president. Truthfully, in all honesty, I wish JD Vance had been running. I'd have voted for him. I'd like to see Donald be JD's VP. I'd like to flip it. And I hope like hell he's going to run when Donald's term's up. I don't know if he will or not, but yeah, this one right here, so out of his depth. It's apparent why Kamala chose him.
Yeah.
The least manly man on earth calling one of the smartest men on earth gay and weird. Sir, your wife is one of the cringiest people I've ever seen. And here's your manly man, Elmer Fudd, who doesn't know how to load his own shotgun that he supposedly uses all the time.
Well, you've been here.
Oh, are you talking to some other failed presidential candidate that's sitting in the gymnasium in Minnesota? And sorry, listen, I've never been to Minnesota. I don't think I'll ever go. I'm sure Minnesota's lovely. It's too cold for me. And I'm sorry, I can't miss the chance to say Minnesota. Oh, God dang it. How did we get back to her?
Yeah.
I've never known a grown man to.
You've been here. Wow. Wow.
Wow is right.
Well, thank you, Minnesota.
I swear it sounds like they're saying
Thank
Trump.
you, thank you, thank you. Well, I don't know about you, but I've had a week. So I know you have too. But let me just start out by
Tim, we've all had years. We've had years of political bullshit. You've only had a week.
saying
3
it's
months.
great to be home. You came home.
Please
Great to be
stay
home.
there.
And I do want to start a huge thank you and an I love you to Minnesota's First Lady, to Gwen. Thank you,
Oh,
Gwen.
yay, Gwen. Yay.
And to our amazing kids, Hope and Gus. They are everything to us. So thank
Oh,
you.
those are their names. Okay. I'm like, huh?
And a big thank you to my family. My mom is here, who I want to say thank you to, Darlene. So we did okay, didn't we?
No, not
We did
really.
okay.
You
She
lost
did a great job.
spectacularly.
I think she's as surprised as anybody that we're here, but and a huge
Well, I'm sure she's, getting up in years, so that might account for some of her befuddlement.
thank you to Vice
Bewilderment.
President Kamala Harris.
Oh, yeah. It's wonderful.
First for the faith that she placed in me, but more importantly for the powerful.
Tim, I don't know it was faith. I think it was you had a state she needed. She should have gone with Shapiro. And you weren't and yeah, never mind.
And joyful campaign that she
Oh,
ran.
joyful. Tim, I didn't see a lot of joy towards the end there. What we must have missed that part.
I'm grateful for her leadership and forever grateful for her friendship.
Tim, let me be the first to break it to you. You are never going to hear from her again. She's going to trash you, whatever she can. And yeah, that's how it's going to go.
Also, a huge thank you to my staff, both the folks who worked on this campaign, who we got to know over the last 3 months, and to the amazing team right here in Minnesota.
How about the Chinese? Do you want to thank Xi Jinping? I mean, I know you're a big fan of the Chinese.
We showed the country these guys are the best in the business, and I'm proud to be your teammate. And
in light of where you're standing, I don't know that I agree with that. Although it's not their fault that y'all really didn't have shit to work with.
yes, thank you all.
Yeah. All right.
And to all of you, I want to thank every single person who stood with us in this fight, whether it was volunteers, donors, voters, or what I see in here, lifelong friends. It's an honor of a lifetime to have your support. And I'll
remember it, because nothing like anything close to this will ever happen again.
Never forget everything that you did to stand up for the values that we share together.
Oh, no. No, we don't share your values. That's why you lost. I think we'll save Tim for another day. I gotta like this. Yeah, that was very I didn't understand that choice. Except, what probably was true, that she needed somebody that wouldn't outshine her, and quite frankly, somebody that could be her bitch. She just should have chosen a more manly man to be her bitch. If you're gonna tout, like, I don't know, I just there was something about him from the beginning that I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it. He looks dumb. He can't help the way he looks. But you know how some people just have that, they just don't look that smart. And that doesn't mean they're not. I mean, he could be a Mensa for all I know. I don't think he is. But I don't know. There's just something like, I don't know. You just look at him and he just looks like, duh. But, apparently Minnesota loves him, and that's great. I want him to stay in Minnesota. All right, kids. Well, this has been a lot of fun. I did see, I'll ask Crazy Nurse about it when we're done here, because I saw a couple things in the chat that I'm interested in. Oh, listen, this is a whole thing in and of itself. It's like, I've long since given up trying to understand anything here. This place is just a microcosm of, well, I don't know. I was going to say it's just a microcosm of society, but I don't know. Joe Rogan has a lot of very interesting, he talks about it quite a bit, about how we are such a tribal society. And all societies are tribal societies, and this YouTube is no different. I mean, this is a society, an internet society. But yeah, so there you have it. I hope you enjoyed something a little different. And listen, I know there are going to be people who are going to be pissed. There were people who told me, don't do this. Listen, the day that I cannot come in here, and this is my channel, shitty and subpar as it may be, it's mine, and I'm not hurting anyone. These are just my opinions. I'm not telling you how you should think. This is how I think. And I certainly, it's not my intention to make anyone feel bad or to shame them, unless it's about your clothing or, you're just all around in general bad taste. I do not care. Listen, politics only goes so far with me. I don't live my life around politics. I don't suggest that anyone does that unless you're in politics, and why would you want to be? No, but it is what it is. And like minds tend to congregate together. But like everyone else, I have friends across every kind of demographic that there is. That's what makes it interesting. I don't care what your politics are. I like you all the same. If I don't like you, you can be sure of this. It's not going to be because of your politics. Chances are it'll just be because you're an asshole. So there you have it. All right, kids. Well, it has been very nice spending the weekend with you. At least, when were we here? Oh, no. Last time I was here was Thursday. Well, almost the weekend. JP and I are going to do part 2. It'll be sometime next week. I think I've got things to do Monday and Tuesday. I don't know what her schedule is, but part 2 of our last true crime, our felony files. And if y'all have ideas, I saw a couple cute ones. Rowena had a really good one. If y'all have any thoughts on like a theme, especially with the holidays coming up, yes, themed felonies, please leave it in the comments or email me or JP. We would love to hear them. And I hope you all will have a good rest of your weekend. I don't think I'll come in here tomorrow. There may be a very slight possibility, but I doubt it. I will probably see you more like the middle or the end of next week. Until then, pussycats, have a great weekend. And I appreciate you. And listen, even if you're a Democrat, dry your tears. I promise it's going to be okay. I still like you. And the hags from The View and all the nut jobs on CNN, MSDNC, the sky's not falling. The world's not ending. I promise you, everything's going to be okay. All right, kids, have a good weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye, pussycats.
Father, you should know I've been going solo. Want my love, baby, earn it. Yeah, dancing on my own. See if you can follow. Got me feeling alive. Watch me go. Lose control. Is this real? All I feel. Break the signs. Every time it's real, real, real. I do what I want. Ooh, I do what I want. Ooh, I do what I want. I do what I want. Hear me now. I do what I want. Are you ready now? 'Cause it won't be easy. Only get what you work for. Gotta go all out whenever you see me. Don't be wasting my time. Watch me go. Lose control. Is this real? All I feel. Break the signs. Every time let's be real, be real, be real. I do what I want. Ooh, I do what I want. Ooh, I do what I want. Ooh, I do what I want. Hear me now. Watch me go. Lose control. Is this real? All I feel. Break the signs. Every time let's be real, be real, be real. I do what I want. I do what I want.
Good morning. What's new, pussycat?